This morning, the record-setting dysfunction on Capitol Hill causing new layers of chaos at airports across the country. The nation's 4 largest airlines already canceling hundreds of flights across 40 airports in high-traffic areas. Passengers furious.
I think the government's playing with people's lives.
Very overwhelming. It's not fair for all the people working.
The FAA hoping today's 4% cut in flights will ease the burden on air traffic controllers who are still working without pay 38 days into the government shutdown.
No one can sustain that type of financial insecurity for this long. People are taking second jobs and then they're resigning as well.
If the shutdown drags on, the agency planning to ramp up mandated flight reductions to 6% Tuesday and 10% by next Friday, saying safety is their main concern.
This was a data-driven decision to make the right calls to get ahead of any issues that could happen, in the airspace that could have negative consequences.
Some airlines are offering refunds or waivers for passengers to rebook, saying they're working to notify those who are on impacted flights as quickly as possible.
As soon as a cancellation gets put in, we broadcast that to the people that are on the flight. If you are on a canceled flight, our systems automatically rebook you to the next available flight.
Both the FAA and the airlines say passengers should still feel confident getting on a plane.
Flying is 100% safe. It absolutely is. We slow things down to ensure that safety.
With the Thanksgiving travel rush fast approaching, the timing couldn't be worse.
That's going to really cause a lot of hang-ups and a lot of missed flights.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell because today's topic is about takeoff. Well, actually, not really. Since America's airport are shutting down entire terminals. Yeah, you heard that right. Terminals closed, flights cancelled, chaos everywhere. The great American travel experience grounded, courtesy of Trump's never-ending government shutdown. So let's dive right into it. Now, you'd imagine your holiday flight months in advance. You've got your bags packed, your grandma's pumpkin pie waiting in the fridge, and your ugly Christmas sweater ironed and ready. But when you get to the airport, instead of cheerful carols and bustling travelers, you find shorter terminals, empty TSA lines, and stranded passengers arguing with gate agents who don't even know if they'll get paid this week. Now, that's not a scene from the dystopian movie. It's America right now.
Y'all better stay off them damn planes. Talking about you going away for the holiday. You do know the government has been shut down for 37 days. And these people that work in those airports are not getting paid. Let me say that to you again. The people that work in the airports, government workers, are not getting paid. So how motivated do you think they are about getting you to your destination safely if they're not bringing in any money? From the end of last year to this point right now, how many plane accidents have you seen? And then when you answer that, I need you to answer this. How would you feel if you had to go to a job and you're not getting paid for your job? And truth of the matter, they are about to start closing airports anyway. So that holiday trip that you thought you was going to take, you're not going to be able to take. And if you do plan on traveling, you should be careful which airport you go to. Go to the National Airspace System Status website. And you see what airports you need to be flying from, and you see what airports you don't need to be flying from. You seen how they had all those delays in Houston? You seen how JFK Airport was looking? And then Newark, and then LaGuardia, and then Dallas, Orlando, Chicago, Denver, all having problems. And that's just a few places that you can look up and see that it's a problem with flying from. Those are major places. Sit your ass down.
We now know which 40 airports are going to be impacted by the FAA's decision to reduce flight capacity by 10% starting tomorrow, Friday, November 7th. This is absolutely going to cause delays and cancellations and chaos. And not just the airports I'm going to show you, but at other airports too that are trying to pick up the slack. So brace yourself for a real dumpster fire out there. Here is the preliminary list. Now, this can still change, but for now, you can see These are considered some of the biggest and busiest airports in the country. We're talking LAX in California, Hartsfield-Jackson in Atlanta, O'Hare in Chicago. Notably, take a look at the Maryland and Virginia airports. Baltimore Washington International, Washington Dulles, and Reagan are some of the main airports that members of the U.S. House of Representatives and U.S. Senate use to fly in and out of Washington, D.C. So they are absolutely going to be feeling this too. It's important for you to know that if this government shutdown stretches into next week, the Trump administration is saying the list of airports can expand, and they're not afraid to cut even more flight capacity. So this is only going to get worse. And don't forget, this doesn't just impact passenger travel. It will also impact the air travel of cargo. So if you have a package on the way, that may also be delayed. Of course, as I reported yesterday, this is all happening because of the government shutdown and because air traffic controllers are not getting a paycheck. So they are calling out sick because they can't pay to have someone come and watch their kids, or they need to work another job to pay their bills. And the controllers who are showing up to work, according to the Transportation Secretary, are working these crazy long hours. And all of that is putting enormous pressure on the system. Just moments ago, President Trump addressed all of this.
Sir, that the FAA is going to have to cut about 10% of flights at the top 40 airports because of the government shutdown. Are you at all concerned that it might not be safe to fly right now? And what do you tell people who are gearing up for
that's why they're cutting. Yeah, it's a fair question. As Sean Duffy announced, they're cutting in certain areas 10%, and they want to make sure it's 100% safe. That's why they're doing it.
Now, if you're supposed to be traveling tomorrow or anytime this weekend, I highly suggest you contact your airline. Some of them are offering preemptive free cancellations or refunds, but this is going to be on you to make sure you can get to your destination and then get back home.
And now there's a strong possibility that none of us will be traveling for the holidays. The airports are getting shut down. I was planning to go to New York to celebrate 100,000 followers, and it's looking like that's not going to happen. Just let me know if I need to start up Quarantine Live again. Let me know if we need to run that back again, so I can just be prepared this time. Because it's starting to look like we finna be in the house. No, like real bad. Like we finna be locked up, cooped up in the house for a good little minute. And even though not being able to travel and have fun and hang out and turn up for the holidays isn't nearly as important as people getting paid, you know what I'm saying, and having to survive off of what they had, if they had anything before the shutdown. But it's just crazy to think that a lot of people won't be able to travel home to see their families. Like, as someone who recently just like had a parent pass away and who have had family members pass away over the years, being able to see your family, especially when you don't get to see them often, is like, people look forward to that. I mean, so this is, yeah, what are we gonna do?
Plans to fly Delta over the holiday period. All right, everybody's got that Fly Delta app. They've got their SkyMiles account. They're logged into it, and you have notifications on. Right now, our approach is a day by day. The day before, we will cancel a flight as long as the government requires us to. Right now, the FAA is asking every airline a 10% reduction in flights to the top 40 markets in the United States. For Delta on a weekday, for all my stat fans, that's roughly 540 flights a day if we have to. It is entirely up to the FAA at this point of when and how many flights they will tell us to cancel. But right now, they're shooting for a 10% reduction in operations on a daily basis. That starts effective tomorrow morning. Right now, I can tell you the priority is all international flights. International flights will leave on time and as scheduled. Delta's not messing with those. Those are the priority. The next flights that Delta will focus on not having to cancel are any flights that go through a major Delta hub. So any flight going through Atlanta, New York, Detroit, Minnie, Seattle, Salt Lake, LA, those flights are also a priority. Anything else, such as a Delta Connection flight, a flight that does not go through a major hub, all those are fair game to be canceled. Delta will announce a cancellation and let you know the day before, if at all possible. It will offer you rebooking options in the Fly Delta app, or it will offer you a full refund, so that is mandated by the government in this case, if you so choose, for any portion of your itinerary that's canceled. If you do opt for a refund, it will process it for you right there immediately in the Fly Delta app. Certainly, this is all a big inconvenience. We're doing the best we can. We don't have any control over it. Here at Delta, we're kind of rolling with what the government tells us we can and can't do right now until Congress comes back to Washington and votes to reopen and fund the government. Appreciate everybody's understanding and patience with that, and we thank you as always for choosing Delta Airlines.
The ongoing government shutdown, now stretching into yet another painful week, has led to massive worker shortages in key federal positions: TSA agents, air traffic controller, custom officers, many of them working without pay or simply walking off the job altogether. Now, because let's face it, patriotism doesn't pay the rent. Airports in major cities like Atlanta, Chicago, and Los Angeles are reporting partial closures. Now, some have even shut down entire terminals just to manage the chaos. Airlines are scrambling to reroute flights, and passengers are left in limbo, watching their travel plans evaporate while political leaders point fingers on TV. Now, let's talk money. Because when terminals close, it's not just travelers who suffer, it's the economy. Airports are economic ecosystem. You've got restaurants, shops, rental cars companies, baggage service, airline staff, and a ripple effect that touches everything from tourism to trade. Each day of disruptions costs millions in lost revenue. Airline stocks are dipping, hotel bookings are getting cancelled, business trips postponed, and as this continues, the US economy, already limping from tariff shocks and investor uncertainty, is now tripping over its own political drama. Holiday season spending, which fuels nearly 20% of annual retail sales, is now under threat. Now, imagine thousands of families unable to travel, choosing to stay home rather than face airport chaos. That's fewer hotel stays, fewer restaurant dinners, and fewer gift shop purchases. It's a chain reaction of lost money, lost time, and lost patience. Now, Trump's team insists this shutdown is about fiscal responsibility and protecting America's interests, right? Meanwhile, federal employees are protecting America by not showing up to work because they literally can't afford gas to get there. It's almost poetic in a tragic way, though. The self-proclaimed master of making deals has managed to turn airports, the literal gateway of commerce, into ghost towns. The art of the deal now comes with a free cancelled flight and a non-refundable ticket. And when reporters asked the president about the travel chaos, he answered, blame the Democrats. Because apparently the TSA, FAA, and every overworked baggage handler in the country are now part of the same or part of some grand political conspiracy. So let's not forget the human side of this. Families are trying to reunite for the holidays, or families who are trying to reunite for the holidays are stuck in endless lines of sleeping in terminals. Business travelers are missing critical meetings. Students are stranded between semesters. And thousands of federal employees are watching their bills pile up as politicians argue in cable news. Now, the shutdown fatigue is real. People are tired. Tired of being pawns in political games. Tired of watching Washington turn their livelihoods into bargaining chips. The irony, the very people who voted for America First policies are now watching America's infrastructure crumble from within. And while the president's base might cheer the standoff on social media, everyday Americans are facing real-world consequences. The ones who clean the terminals, direct the planes, and screen passengers, they're the backbone of the system. And that backbone is cracking under the weight of political stubbornness. Here is the thing. As for long-term consequences, even after the shutdown ends, and it will eventually, the damage won't magically disappear. The aviation industry runs on precision and trust. Every delayed inspection, every missed shift, every burnout controller adds risk, to an already stressed system. Okay, it could take months for operation to fully normalize. And the international travelers watching this chaos unfold, they are taking notes and their money elsewhere. When global tourism confidence drops, America's economy feels it hard. So here we are in the land of freedom, watching airports shut down because leaders can keep the government running. Travelers are grounded, workers are unpaid, and the economy is holding its breath right before the busiest travel season of the year. All because political pride is apparently worth more than people's paycheck. So, what do you think? Should federal workers be forced to work without pay during shutdowns? Do you believe Trump's shutdown strategy will bring long-term gain or just short-term pain for millions? And how long do you think America can keep pretending that winning means breaking everything that actually works? So let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and share this video so more people understand what's really happening behind those closed terminal signs. Until next time, safe travels. If you find a flight, still take off.